You're watching Alabama's WVUA News at 10.
Ahead at 10, a new multi-use development is approved for Tuscaloosa's riverfront and other possible changes. Plus, a slowdown takes over the legislature after several senators are late to the State House. Also, we update you on the Wolves wreaking havoc in Pickens County. And we are live at tonight's basketball game for round 1 of the NIT. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tamika Alexander. We begin tonight with new developments in Tuscaloosa. The city is one step closer to starting 2 major projects along the Black Warrior River. WVUA's Lauren Woods takes us to Riverwalk to show us what's being built and what's being expanded.
Tuscaloosa Riverwalk may soon have a new look. The city's project committee recommended an eastern extension, adding more scenic routes, something Tuscaloosa city engineer says was made possible years ago.
The Federal Highway Administration, through the Federal Trust Fund, actually has a grant program that specifically addresses scenic byways and enhancement of those scenic byways. The Riverwalk is a byway feature. It attracts visitors, and because of that fact, we were eligible for this grant program.
The project will cost more than $900,000, but those federal funds will make the city share less than $200,000. Also on the Black Warrior River, there are plans for a retail and residential development. Atlanta-based Chance Partners is building the project, and they have been stressed to invest local while building.
When a developer comes from out of town and decides to invest in Tuscaloosa, that they also invest in our workforce and in our commerce here. So our council has made it very clear to Chance Partners that they would like for them to consider using local materials and local labor resources.
If approved, the downtown development will bring retail, housing, and more parking spaces, all in a connected and open environment. Some who enjoy the Riverwalk say they're excited to see progress.
It's been fun watching it grow and being able to bring her out here. And we enjoy it, and I look forward to seeing what they do with it in the future.
And future growth may happen sooner rather than later. Reporting in Tuscaloosa, Lauren Woods, WVUA News.
Both projects will likely be presented in front of the City Council within the next few weeks. On your home team Crime Watch, an update on the 4 former Alabama football players facing criminal charges. The next step is for the cases to go to a Tuscaloosa County grand jury. Eddie Williams, Dennis Petway, and Brett Calloway waived their right to a preliminary hearing today. Tyler Hayes' case was automatically sent to a grand jury on Monday. Williams, Petway, and Hayes are charged with robbery after 2 suspects were attacked last month, or 2 students rather were attacked last month. Williams and Calloway are charged with using a stolen debit card. Petway, Williams, and Calloway are seeking youthful offender status. They were dismissed from the university after a judicial review. Well, a Macon County judge is refusing to step aside from deciding what to do about gambling machines and cash seized from a Victoryland casino in Shorter. Alabama Attorney General Luther Strange asked the judge to recuse himself on grounds that he is prejudiced. Young ruled at a hearing today that he is not prejudiced and will remain on the case rather than sending it to another judge. A spokesman for the Attorney General says he is evaluating the next move. The case involves whether the state can keep more than $200,000 in cash and destroy 1,600 gambling machines seized during a raid at Victoryland in February. Well, earlier today, nearly 100,000 Alabama Power customers were still in the dark after yesterday's storms. Alabama Power said early Tuesday morning that 98,000 customers were without power, down from more than 200,000 customers after the Monday storms. Most of the customers who remained without power, about 50,000, were in East Birmingham counties such as Gadsden, Aniana, Anniston, and Pell City. According to authorities, dozens of communities around the state experienced significant damage. The damage was caused by straight line winds of 50 to 75 miles per hour, which is low end of the hurricane force. Well, speaking of the weather, let's get a first check on Alabama's home team forecast. Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott joins us now. Hey, Richard, rather nice day out there today.
Hey, Tamika, and a good Tuesday night, too. Not that bad weather-wise tonight, but it's getting cooler. You notice we have 57 in Tuscaloosa now, upper 50s down the south, upper 40 showing up for Jasper, and Coleman, Gadsden reporting 52 at this hour. So it's getting cooler, but cloud cover starting to spread in from the west. In fact, mostly cloudy sky. starting to be noticed out there. But early tomorrow morning we'll start the day off, I think, cloudy, around 40 degrees, so a cool start to the day. But sunshine will return. We'll talk more about that, plus a chance of storms over the weekend. Your forecast is coming up.
Thanks, Richard. Tuscaloosa County now has 2 new law enforcement leaders, one in the sheriff's office and the other in Northport. WVUA's Daniel Sparkman joins us now. Daniel, we spoke with both men about their new positions.
Yeah, we did, Tamika, and you know, they both really just getting started this week. We start with Tuscaloosa County's new sheriff, where a new man is now taking the helm. Billy Sharp has served in law enforcement for more than 30 years. In 2012, he retired from the Alabama Criminal Justice Center and joined the Tuscaloosa Metro Homicide Unit. Governor Bentley appointed Sharp to serve as Tuscaloosa County Sheriff on Monday, but he won't be sticking around for long. The governor says Sharp will serve as the sheriff while they continue to conduct interviews for the position. Sharp made it clear in today's press conference that he will not be running for office in November 2014, but he is glad to be serving the people of Tuscaloosa County.
I will not be a candidate for this office. I will not run for this office. So, you know, I will be here, and the main thing is the safety of the people in Tuscaloosa County and the safety of the deputies on the street.
Now, Sharp replaces Sheriff Ted Sexton, who retired to take a new job with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office over in California. And now turning to Northport's police department, they also have a new leader. The City of Northport City Council voted in a unanimous vote to make interim police chief Kerry Card the full-time police chief. Council members agreed Card will further the Northport Police Department in his new role. The decision comes after a review of the department showed lack of institutional control and low morale within the force. Card has been the interim chief of police for more than a year and a half. He says he looks forward to helping the department move forward.
We want to go forward. We have some good, I think, some good ideas that will help the community, that will take us to where we need to be.
And Card says that he is humbled to be selected for the position, one that he has always dreamed about having. Tamika.
Thanks, Daniel. We turn now to news from around the nation. Military officials are flagging batches of ammunition after 7 Marines were killed in an explosion at the Hawthorne Army Depot in Nevada. The Marines were taking part in a training exercise last night, when officials say a 60-millimeter mortar round detonated inside a tube. 8 others were injured in the explosion. Now the military is advising units not to use mortars that may be similar to the one that exploded as officials investigate. It's still not known why the mortar round exploded. Well, that happened on the day that marks 10 years since the start of the war in Iraq. On March 19, 2003, President George W. Bush announced the start of the U.S. invasion in Iraq. Officials said the goal was to get rid of weapons of mass destruction, going after extremists and replacing a dictatorship that will cost hundreds of billions of dollars and thousands of lives. More than 4,800 Americans and 134,000 Iraqis were killed. President Obama is headed on a mission to the Middle East. This will mark the first time he has visited Israel as president. 5 years ago, Mr. Obama visited Israel as a candidate. Now as president, he is going there to reassure Israelis where he stands on Iran. President Obama will also stop in the West Bank, and he's scheduled to have peace talks with Palestinian leaders. And in the Vatican City this morning, Pope Francis officially started his ministry as the 266th Pope. He received the ring symbolizing the papacy and a wool stole symbolizing his role as shepherd. His installation took place in St. Peter's Square in front of tens of thousands of people, princesses, sheikhs, rabbis, and presidents. Well, back here at home, the Alabama legislature is battling a slowdown. The Alabama Senate had a rocky start today, with most Democrats skipping the opening roll call, but Republican Lieutenant Governor Kay Ivey ruled enough senators were present to conduct business. Shortly after a protest by Senator Bobby Singleton, Senate President Pro Tem Del Marsh motioned that the body adjourn until Wednesday. Meanwhile, attorneys for former Health South CEO Richard Scrushy told a 3-judge panel of the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. Their client should get a new trial on government corruption charges. Scrushy and former Alabama Governor Don Siegelman were found guilty in a 2006 trial in federal court in Montgomery. Scrushy has completed his prison sentence and is now living in Houston. Siegelman is serving a prison term in Louisiana. Prosecutors allege that Scrushy bought a seat on a state hospital regulatory board by arranging donations to Siegelman's campaign for a statewide lottery. Siegelman's lawyers say the trial judge made an error in denying Scrushy's motions and related discovery requests. Now to an update from Pickens County on a pack of wolves causing problems near Gordo. A game warden with the Alabama Wildlife and Fisheries said the animals are actually hybrid wolves that have mated with dogs. The wolves are being blamed for the death of several heads of cattle and other animals in that community. One WVUA viewer sent in these pictures of the wolves captured by a game camera in the woods near Gordo. Law enforcement have been able to kill one of the wolves, but the other 3 remain on the loose. Well, next month marks 2 years since the April 27, 2011 tornado, and volunteers are still coming from across the country to help Tuscaloosa rebuild. Around 50 students from the University of Minnesota are using their spring break to do mission work across the U.S. They are part of a group called Students Today, Leaders Forever. This week, they made a stop in Alberta City where they worked to remove storm debris. One of the members told WVUA they enjoyed traveling through the country helping communities in need.
You know, we go to these communities and we help out in little ways, but what we receive and the generosity and kindness we've seen along the way is absolutely incredible. And you can just kind of see the whole pay it forward theme in what we do and in how it just translates to the communities and the people.
Tuscaloosa Skyland Baptist Church served as hosts for the students. Well, Shelton State was packed with people showing off their fitness skills today. It was all part of their annual health fair. Dozens of organizations from around the community set up information booths inside of Shelton State's atrium. They provided information on lots of issues, including getting fit, fighting diabetes, and protection from domestic abuse, just to name a few. Dr. Milady Murphy with the Shelton State Wellness Center coordinated the event, and she told us it's a great way for people to learn about a serious issue in a unique way.
Health fairs are a great way to educate the community in a fun, festive environment, especially when the community comes out in Tuscaloosa the way they did.
And this marks the 23rd year for the health fair. We'll still ahead on WVUA News at 10.
Postseason basketball is underway for the Tide. I'm Travis Leader. I'll tell you how they did tonight next.
And we made it through yesterday's severe weather, but could we be in store for more? We will have an updated home team forecast for you coming up. And the Crimson Tide baseball team teed off on rival Sanford tonight. Gary Harris will have the highlights later in Alabama's home team sports. But before we go to break, don't forget to follow us on Twitter for sneak peeks on upcoming shows and projects here at WVUA.